Hello friends, welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today I'll be showing you how I am setting up my September planner to achieve my monthly goals. So let's get planning. And I've got these highlighters here ready to go, along with this brush pen I'll be using, my trusty gel friction pen, and these craft label sheets, which I'll use as well. Okay, so first off, let me go ahead and grab out my quarterly goal sheet as well as my vision board to help guide me on this process. I set these up at the beginning of the year and then also at the beginning of the quarter, and these are what will really steer my goals for the month. So I will pull those out as reference. I also grabbed some of that craft label sheet that I showed you at the beginning of the video, and I'm going to use that just for a little label marker for the type of goal each one of these 4 boxes will hold. Now, as you can see, I actually have 3 goals on my quarterly goal sheet, and there are 4 boxes on my monthly. So what I end up doing, I take the quarterly goals pretty much as they are and grab out the monthly tasks and the weekly tasks from that for 3 of the 4 goals. And then on the 4th goal, I will pull from my vision board as more of a short-term, only for the month goal, depending on what I'm feeling like for that month, to grow or expand my overall goal setting for the month. So I'm going to quickly pencil in the names of the goal categories that I'll be tackling this month into those little craft labels that I put in there. I basically wanted this to match up with the monthly theme that you can see has already been pre-decorated on the sheet. So I grabbed more of the craft paper that I used there in the corner as a way to tie everything together, but also to give me the functionality that I wanted. And now I'll go ahead and brush pen in those titles. I would freehand it, but I don't trust myself not to make a mistake. As you can see, when we go through this video, I make a lot of mistakes, and that erasable friction pen is basically a lifesaver for me because I constantly have to erase. So penciling in these headers before I committed it with permanent ink is definitely the way to go for me. Let's go ahead and get started with my first goal. Again, kind of referencing my quarterly sheet, I'm going to pull in my health goal first. That way it is front of mind. I've kind of tackled the very first goal on that sheet pretty thoroughly, so I wanted to focus in more on my health these last 2 months of the quarter. The goal here is going to be to lose 3 pounds or inches, not 3 inches, but inches off my body, by fasting, exercise, and nutrition. The first step for that will be to keep the fridge stocked with fresh produce and protein, along with finding some new meals for my 1 meal a day. I have been eating salads pretty much all summer. It's been good, but I'm kind of burnt out on the salads, and so I'll be needing some fresh options to keep that going without getting burnt out on the nutrition side of things. My next step for achieving that goal this month will be to exercise every day, and again, focusing in on my strength training, trying to at least do that 3 times a week minimum. So that's my goal for this month. I think it'll be a little bit more doable now that the class schedule that I follow has changed, so looking forward to really reaching that 3 times or more each week goal. I also want to continue eating my one meal a day as part of my fasting, and then also to consistently fast for 20 hours a day. One of my issues is that if I eat too early, I tend to get a little hungry in the evening, and so then I end up breaking the fast earlier than I want to. So I'm just going to try to be more mindful of that every day. So that's my first goal. It's my health goal. Next, we're going to move on to my business goal, which I decided to retool this goal to better fit my needs at this point. So this is going to be related to my Etsy file creation for my shop, but what I'm going to focus in on is actually working out my 2025 planner setup ahead of time. I found that last year I just took too much time deciding on what I wanted, and so then all of the features that were new to my planner that you guys were seeing weren't available as you were seeing my setup. So I'm going to try to do that ahead of time so that I can put things into my shop before the year begins, and you guys can also grab those for your own setups as well. So my first step is going to be brainstorming new planning ideas for better function and efficiency. Next, I want to research other planner setups and gather ideas to see how other planners are doing it and see if there's any ideas out there worth pursuing. Also, I will need to create those layouts to support the new ideas I find for the setup, and then prepare any new layouts for my Etsy shop, and of course, make sure that they are listed. That has been a little bit of an Achilles heel. I have ideas for doing the layouts, but it's the grind of making all of the different sizes and, making the listing images it's a lot. So hopefully this will help prepare me ahead of time for all of that and get that done. I also need to organize my digital files in preparation for my lineup printing and make sure that everything is kind of neat and organized so I know exactly what I need to print for the lineup and have it ready to go. So my goal is to have that done by the end of this month, but we will see. And I just saw that these dots were not lining up well to the actual items I had next to them, so I decided to hack these checklists and use my white gel pen to create my own bullets next to those items, and then color in the already preset bullets with a matching highlighter color. And I think that worked out really nice, just kind of seamlessly blended it away. Okay, so now we're on to the third goal, and again, this is going to be a goal connected to my quarterly goals, and that one is to finish my digital and to complete my paper declutter. So I had a focus of really organizing myself and removing any clutter or anything that, just kind of eats away at you constantly in your mind and causes stress. So that's the goal, and I had broken it down into 3 main categories in my life that I could declutter, and this month is supposed to be all of that paper clutter. I was hoping to do my digital declutter all at once, but it just kind of seeped into this month, so I will hopefully be able to wrap that up at the beginning of the month and then move on to the paper declutter at the end. So I'm going to break this down by weeks just so that I know that each week I have a goal to tackle, and my first week is to wrap up the digital declutter, mainly the screenshots and desktop files I have just kind of still sitting there, somewhat organized, but not 100%, but at least I'm partially there, so I should be able to get that done within that week. And then the next week will be to finish the email clean out. I did start doing that as well, but just did not have enough time to really do a full clean out, so hopefully I'll be able to complete that in week 2. Week 3 will be to purge my current actual paper filing system and reorg the setup for, all the new papers I'll be adding in. And then week 4 will be to gather those papers and loose documents, then file them in that new system I've revamped and purged. And then, of course, after week 5 and going forward, I need to maintain this new filing system regularly, and hopefully we'll set up a time weekly to kind of just get that organized and complete. And again, we're just going to hack this little area so that I can put those bullets in where they belong. And we will move on to my final goal, which I will be pulling from my vision board. I'm thinking it's going to be a life goal, and I decided to focus in on discovering a new hobby that I thought would be a nice goal to kind of pursue that would be a little bit more low-key. So this month I want to learn how to watercolor. I hope that this is going to be something that I can grow and continue to do throughout, like a lifelong learning type thing. First off, I need to sign up and attend the weekly class I have in mind for this goal. That will be on Mondays, so I want to make sure that that's going to happen. I also need to set aside time each week to practice watercoloring and do any drills that are required for the class or that will help me grow in my technique. Next, I want to look for inspo to help find my artistic style. I really love watercolor, but there's many ways to watercolor. So I just want to see what I'm most drawn to and kind of get some inspiration for my own art style to kind of grow into its own thing, so I'm not copying just what I'm learning from the class. And then, of course, finally, I want to enjoy the process, find joy in this learning of a new hobby and growing my skills in this artistic and creative way. So that's going to do it for us, friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next time. Bye.